You're
Kicking it
up.
off.
Me? I'm up? Oh, okay. Oh, I
You're up.
get what you mean by intro now. You're just going to click the play video, and that's going to be you doing an intro. And then you want me
That's
to do all the hard work. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'll do all the heavy lifting.
I said do all the hard work.
Yeah, I'll do all the hard stuff. I'm not too worried about that. Well, guys, for all of you joining us, thank you for joining us at First Round Showdown. Is this episode 18? Because we're at episode 18 already. Welcome to episode 18. I'll be your, I guess, host tonight, Shadaloos. I'm joined with Slow-Mo. Go ahead and say hello.
Hello.
As well as Freedom. Go ahead and say hello.
Morning, afternoon, evening.
All the times of the day.
All the times of the day.
All right, good night, guys.
Tuning in. Yeah, see, good enough for me. Yeah, so the wheel last week landed on Skullmonkeys, which was a game of my choice. It's a PlayStation 1 exclusive, developed by the Neverhood, published by Electronic Arts and DreamWorks Interactive. It's a claymation side-scrolling platformer, if you will. However, it's got a lot of different little, I don't know if you want to call them mini games or game mechanics, filled with a couple different power-ups. And I want to say this was published. Do you guys remember when this was published? It's like 98, I think.
97, 98.
97, 98. Okay. Yeah, somewhere January 28th, 1998. So we're actually pretty close to an anniversary of Skullmonkeys. It was almost perfect time. Actually, we might have picked the game on the anniversary. Do you think that happened? It was a week ago. Oh, it was one day from the anniversary when it landed on that game. It was almost meant to be.
Then it was perfect. It worked perfect. Absolutely.
Yes, almost meant to be. But yeah, this I don't know if we want to go from here. Do we have initial thoughts? Is there anything else you want me to cover? Is there anything I'm missing?
Nah, just pretty much building up a little bit for the whatever the episode was, definitely. Yeah, great game. I feel like it was a great game. Pretty great game all the way around. We'll talk about it a little bit more once we show some gameplay and everybody kind of puts their hat in the ring with this one. But I had heard about this game before, and I had seen it in magazines when it came out, but I never got a chance to play it. And I completely forgot it even existed. And then once you pop that up on the list and it rolled on, I'm like, I guess we're going to find out. So,
yeah, I was really curious to see what you guys are going to think about this, because this was a game, and I mean, for those who weren't on stream while I was streaming it, I own this copy. This is my childhood copy. I had it as a kid. I mean, this is back in the era of you don't know what game is going to be rare or not rare. We weren't thinking about that, right? It's just like you got a game that was one of the 10 games that you got to play, and you're happy to have that. And this happened to be one of them. You can still has the original sticker.
Got that sticker
on the back there and everything. So and this used to, before I was taking pictures of it, I used to have a big piece of paper taped to the front that had my password, so I could pick up where I left off, because this was prior to using memory cards. I shouldn't say it was prior to using memory cards. This one game just didn't use memory cards. Instead, it used
it was the password system or whatever. Yeah,
it was a password system that maintained power-ups and your specific level and things of that nature. So I didn't know if you guys were going to like this or not. I threw it on there because I want to get this game out there as much as possible. It is weird. Slow-Mo pointed out that it's weird, or at least it looks weird. And the artist that did the stuff for this game is the same dude who did Earthworm Jim. I heard a couple people bring up Earthworm Jim. Same guy. And I know he did Wild number 9. I think he did some of the work on Clay Fighters, and the original game to this series is called The Neverhood, which is a point-and-click adventure on PC. It's not at all a platformer. Point-and-click adventure game. And just a few years ago, they did a Kickstarter and did a whole other point-and-click adventure called Armacrog, which these are all claymation-style games. That's kind of just how they build their games. This is the only one that's a platformer. It's like an action platformer. So it's quite a bit different from their normal suite of games that they make. But yeah, it was always one of my favorites growing up, and it was one of those that I would talk to somebody about and they're like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, because this is not Mario or Sonic or something else. So that was my game. What did you think?
I think that's pretty interesting at the fact that I remember you saying something about it before, the original game being a point-and-click adventure. I'm going to have to get that name from you again because, I mean, I like old school point-and-click adventures from the PC back in the day. So, I mean, that's definitely something I'd be interested in checking out.
I just want to take a moment real quick. We got some people here. We got Chaos, who said he was first. Even though he couldn't be first because I was first. And we got Stacks 404 Gaming in here.
Welcome in.
We've got Griff as well. Hello, guys.
Brother Griff, what's going on, man?
All right, back to Skullmonkeys.
Yeah, well, what do you think, Slow-Mo? You were
I think it was awful, terrible game. No, it actually, I actually really enjoyed it. And like so many, like it's okay. So it's very basic platforming. Like it's fundamental basic platforming.
The entire game, like 95% of the game is platforming.
Right, and it's like simple fundamental platforming. It's like nothing. There's no frills and stuff to this platforming, but all the other elements tied into it make it a great game. Like they took fundamental platforming and turned it into a just like all around aesthetically amazing game. So I actually really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and it's I will say it's one of those that's like back in the CRT days where we were playing on 480i, something like that. It definitely looked a lot more amazing. Just from a I would say a pixel fidelity standpoint, but now it can definitely look a little blockier, if you will. But it reminds me very much so in the same way of like Donkey Kong Country, right? Donkey Kong Country back in the day with all the pre-rendered sprites looked phenomenal, and today still looks good. It's just a little more pixelated.
Well, it was very smooth. The claymation in the game was very smooth. Like it didn't look like they took their time with this game. You could tell.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't. It definitely wasn't glitchy or anything like that. I mean, your character. I can't remember what did they ever say his name?
Haley.
It's Clayman with a K.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Clayman with a K, and he makes an appearance in. He's the main one in Neverhood, and then he makes an appearance in another one of their games, but I don't remember which one exactly. Yeah. So yeah, it's. I don't know if they actually say it. I don't know if they do or not. I didn't pay attention enough in the cutscenes, but
I didn't at all.
But like I said, the gameplay, the controls, the movement, it was very fresh. It was spot on when it came to the jumping. You just had to. One of the things I feel that I had to kind of get used to at first, right off the bat, was the fact of when you're moving left and right, the camera switches very quickly so you can see.
Yeah.
So jumping mid-air, you kind of have to pre-render yourself that the fact that the camera's going to switch again, so you have to almost practice a little bit when it comes to platforming, jumping left and right, like switching directions in midair. Was one thing I had to get used to right off the bat, but I mean, once you kind of get used to that, it's pretty straightforward.
This was one of those games that all your movements had to be deliberate.
Yeah,
like you had to think about every move, especially towards the later levels because you did not have much places to land, so you had to make every jump count.
It was like you had to hit the end of the platform. You couldn't jump halfway on the platform. You had to get to the very tip edge of the platform to make certain jumps. Absolutely.
Yeah, and the one thing that I was thinking about, as I was getting towards kind of the end of my playtime was that the controls are really tight in terms of movement, in terms of when you choose to jump and whatever you're trying to do.
Yeah.
And the levels are difficult, but they're not unfair.
Right.
They're not unfair. So it's kind of like you were saying, Slow-Mo, like your jumps need to be very deliberate, and you need to know like where you're going to go. You need to plan it out, but it's not unfair. It's just a like, you can get good at platformers by playing this game, and it's I don't know. I think it's challenging. It was a lot of fun.
Very challenging, especially I don't know about y'all. There were certain areas of this game where like I struggled, and I struggled hard.
Yep.
And we'll talk about that when we do presentations. Even though I don't have one, I still have level breakdowns and stuff I want to talk about. But yeah, there are some areas of this game that made me want to never play another video game again.
Punch some drywall?
No. Punch my everything. All the things. I was going to punch them all. Everything.
Okay.
Guys, let's talk about the amazing, freaky, crazy, out-of-the-box thinking soundtrack. Like every single song in this game was comical to me. Funky, just amazing. Especially the very first time I got to the special level, the bonus level, I literally found myself standing still just so I could listen to the song the first time, and I'm like, what is this? That is hilarious.
And at some point during this, maybe when I do my time to talk, I am going to take like 2 minutes and I'm going to pull up the YouTube video of that bonus room in the song just so everyone can hear it.
So funny, dude, and so cool.
It was like it caught me off guard because like you don't expect it.
No.
And
Yeah.
But you're right. Every song in this game was just like well thought out.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a mix of acoustic, there's a mix of almost like jazzy funk stuff.
Funky bass, absolutely, dude.
Yeah. There's a lot of
whoever made them like scatting in the background.
so that's I was going to touch on that. The guy's name is Terry Scott Taylor. He's the one that does the soundtrack for all their games. They just reach out to him and he's like, yeah, sure, sounds good. And he does the whole thing and
Nice.
all the levels, all the different stuff. He mixes everything. And one thing that's like really crazy to me is that there are so many levels, and I'm not even talking about worlds in this game. There are so many like level varieties that so there's so many songs too, like from bonus level songs to boss level songs to just the different world songs. Like one dude to do them all is like nuts. So I don't know. It's a fantastic soundtrack too. It's goofy. He's got all of his stuff on Bandcamp. He's got all of his stuff on Apple Music and I think Spotify as well. So if you want to mess around with the songs, even the songs he has in the cutscenes, he does a rendition of the Beans Magical Fruit more you toot song in one of the cutscenes.
Absolutely, dude.
That's on the album too. It's all there.
Yes, nice.
So I missed that because I did not watch a single cutscene. But
oh man,
oh my gosh, the cutscenes are so good.
He came through. I don't know. It was like the
game.
second level or something like that when you finally get the farting power. He comes through and there's like a table with just one can of beans there, and he just like demolishes it, and that song is playing in the background, and I'm like, wait a minute, what the heck, dude?
And I've got a little bit of that cutscene in my video. So
nice.
Slow-mo never watches cutscenes. Chaos, you are correct. I do not.
I can't believe like the cutscenes are not long. Like I think they're a minute or less in this game.
Yeah,
that is the exception. Baldur's Gate 3. I watched all the cutscenes.
Oh my god!
Like, oh, of course.
I did.
Whatever.
Yeah, I had to. But yeah, overall, this game was like I never even heard of it, and it turns out to be like this amazing game.
It is a gem. It is a diamond in the rough.
That is a hidden gem for sure.
The PS1 had a lot of trash, and this was not one of those games. And which that's the thing I think is most impressive about this is that it's such a solid and tight platformer for a company that's never made one.
Right.
Like I feel like they stuck with the fundamentals. Like they have the whole thing. 100 clay balls equals a life, right?
They throw those clay balls at you like all the time.
Yeah, they've got secrets and secret levels. They've got lives that you can pick up. They've got an extra hit. It's like a halo that goes around your head, so you need an extra hit. It's very basic in terms of the mechanics and what it takes to make a platformer, and they stuck with that. They're like, we're not gonna do anything weird, we're just gonna make it a really solid platformer, and it's a very solid platformer.
And they took
Absolutely.
that and then made it weird.
Yeah.
They made it weird. Yeah, they put their own spin on it.
For
Well,
sure.
games don't. A lot of developers, even the big developers now, they don't really do a lot of the outside of the box thinking. It's like it's almost feeling like, and I know, oh, Casey's here. What's going on, man? It's
also
a
had,
lot of the developers nowadays is like shooters all look the same, RPGs all look the same now. It's a lot of the same ideas. This is like absolutely out there, outside of the box thinking. Story, characters, I mean the characters are funky, crazy looking, and it was very well rounded.
So we have Rick here as well. He says he doesn't even know what the game looks like, so he is going to find out.
He will see. He will see.
I was gonna say it's
absolutely.
a good thing we've got clips of the game. Mine's actually like 3 minutes long and showcases
That's
a lot
cool.
of the levels and stuff. So it's kind of like there's plenty for us to talk over. But yeah, it's you'll see the game. Don't worry, there's plenty to watch there. But
Yes.
Absolutely.
boss fights. I was going to mention boss fights because this isn't the typical like at the end of a world there's a boss. They kind of sprinkle them throughout
A little bit here and there. Yeah. What's there, like 5 boss fights? I think it is.
Yeah,
for those that don't know, this is
world.
a 17 level game.
Yeah.
And each level has 3 like sub levels. So you have or 3 or 4. Some of them have 4, I think.
Yeah, that's why I call them worlds, because I'm like, it's 17
Yeah.
worlds and you got the levels kind of within the worlds sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's 17 of those with levels in between them. And even the cool thing is like the sub levels also have different variety. Like not all 4 of them are the same exact backgrounds and platforms and enemies and stuff. So like there is just a ton, like a labor of love work around. I imagine all of the claymation assets they would have to make this game. It'd have been insanity. Like it's a ton. It's not one of those games where like, hey, we want to make a game that has like claymation enemies and a player character, and they do like 3 worlds with 10 levels or whatever, because it's like that's all the budget would afford, and they knew it was taking too long. It's like, nope, they made a full blown.
Yeah, this was 17. This was 17 levels to where every single level was different background, different feel of the whole thing. And like you guys said, there was 3 or 4 sub levels to each one, and it was just like, and one of the things that I noticed about the game, from obviously you guys just like me, I think I had to continue like 50 times in this game, and most of them were probably on the last like 4 or 5 levels, especially that last level.
If they counted your continues, I would be embarrassed.
Oh yeah,
it would be a lot for me.
Yeah. But I like the fact that if you continued, instead of it sending you all the way back to the beginning of that specific world, if you were on the final sub level of that world, it continued right there on the third part of that world. It wasn't like, so it was like you said, it was difficult, but it was very fair.
Yeah, and it didn't. The only thing it did not hold on to was your checkpoints within a level. You had to start the level over. But you know what? I found that the checkpoints, a majority of the time, again with fairness, were like they were basically at the end of a tough stint. And it's like once you learn that tough stint, if you were to completely game over and have to do that level again, you got through it pretty quickly because you knew what you had to do. And so yeah, fair is like the way I completely describe this. I don't know. It's difficult even for somebody like me, but I can get through it. And I think the people watching me, like, I think they saw that as well. So I don't know.
Welcome in,
hopefully that
Hokie.
was
It's great to
reflected.
see you there, sweetie. So yeah, Slimmy, do you want to just talk about it, or do you want me to go first with my video, or?
We're gonna throw your video up, and then I might pause your video in some spots and talk about aspects of it that
yeah, you're good.
or something.
Yeah, you're good.
Alrighty, let's
I've got my official manual. I took it out of the case too because I wanted to read some of the character names and stuff. And apparently there's an official strategy guide for this, which I'm sure is money. But
I was really looking forward to seeing that 1970s level, because apparently there's like a handful of those collectibles, but each time you go through the variations, because if you guys noticed, when you got through certain sub levels, there was a regular like yellow clay ball, but then sometimes a red one would appear, and that's like 2 different locations you can go. And apparently, no matter whatever direction you went, you could literally out throughout the whole game. You can only pick up 3 throughout the whole game, and then you unlock that level, I believe, at the end. But you have I don't know if you have to continue or what, but.
All right, we're gonna throw up Freedom's gameplay real quick, and then
just going to skip over that. There you go. Yeah. So like I said, this game, very outside of the box thinking. I was very happy with this. You know, the gameplay, the movements were very fluid. You know, and like I said, there's clay balls, dude. They throw them at you. You know, at certain spots, and it's almost like with the fairness. It's they know that they give you difficult spots, so it's like, okay, well, we're just gonna go ahead and try to help them out a little bit as much as we can, and give you extra lives. The boss fights. This was the second boss fight. What was it, Joe something?
Joe.
Dude, as soon as I seen that, I'm like, this is phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. The cutscenes are completely rendered, like you guys said, claymation. It literally looked like you're watching little pieces of like a Gumby episode. You know what I mean? Different levels. I mean, I really can't say any. I can't stop saying good stuff about this game. Absolutely, all the way around. It threw the extra lives at you. The bonus levels are great. The music was great. This is a very, very great surprise for me. Like I said, I had only heard about this game through magazines, and I had seen them in, like the magazines back in the day, the gaming magazines, and never got a chance to. So I'm very happy at the fact that we were able to kind of get this one out. Now, there's one specific spot that I wanted to talk. I know this is a little bit farther. This is actually the final boss right here, number 6. What's his name? Clog or whatever.
Yeah, it's Clog.
Then, yeah. Not too bad. I think I one-shotted him, really. I just did, he was very simple. As long as you collected those little balls to throw back at him, it was pretty much straightforward. Most of my problem was this world right here. These electrical platforms, you literally had to have pinpoint timing. You see how they keep disappearing? You have to land on these platforms to power them, and you have to have precise, exact movements, or else you have to just restart. Dude, I lost probably 25 of my continues just on this world right here.
And I want to touch on that too.
Yeah.
Oh my God, did I go all the way back to the beginning? Was it over? It was.
Let's see, about right there. Finally, got that, dude.
And not like the platforms as they moved, depending on which they're moving, could affect your jump.
Right,
so
and
if
that's
they were
one
like
of the
moving down, you did not jump as high as if they were moving up. You would jump higher.
That was one of the things that really took me forever, because it was like, you think, and at first I thought maybe you had to press a directional pad, that I didn't realize the directional pad to jump higher. But then I realized that the more, if it's moving up, it does give you that inertia. But with these, they kind of do a small rotation. So you have, like you said, you have to have pinpoint accuracy when you jump for it to shoot you up. Other than that, you're just going to do a regular jump and you're just going to fall to your death. Absolutely, man.
Yeah. That last level took me forever.
Yes.
I don't know if Shadowloo has it in his video or not.
Which one are you looking at? What are you trying to cover? What are you trying to see? And I'll tell you if it is.
It's the.
And this is basically just the final cutscene.
Oh, the level.
We'll get to it. It's
fine.
I'll talk about it on my turn.
And
I just wanted to talk about those platforms because they were.
Go ahead.
No. That's it. I said what I needed to say.
Okay. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, that's pretty much the end cutscene. Great game. I was very happy with it, and I might put this in a rotation every once in a while. But yeah, very, very fresh, very clean. Very happy with this game.
Chaos says this looks hilarious, and
it is, dude.
The whole game is
great.
a trip.
the one thing I wish I would have captured better, and I could have if I just had the time, are the different power ups. Because I don't know, there's probably what would you say, like somewhere around like
Like
six
four
different
or
power ups or
five, six
something.
power ups. Yeah.
Yeah, and one of them is like a fart man ability to where you literally fart a clone of yourself out of your head, and your main guy stays in place, but you can run through the level as the fart guy, and eventually, like if you're still alive and you're getting through the level, your main guy will teleport to the fart guy. But the point of him is like, hey, there's a really hard section coming up. You don't know if you're going to be able to survive it. So you can put out the fart man first to basically test it and see
Give
if
you
you're going
like
to
a
survive or
secondary
die.
try. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's like if you die, well, your main guy isn't over. You don't lose a life. You just go back to the main guy, and now you have to do whatever you're going to do. So you kind of have like a fart scout, which is great. You have a plasma ball that you can shoot. And again, all of these are things that you have to collect. So if you just don't have any, they're gone. And if you
Yeah.
game over, you lose all
all
your
of it,
picked up
dude.
powers.
Because you also
Yeah,
had the
so-
hummingbirds, and those things were
Yeah,
handy.
those are really really good. They call them like Phoenix hands, I think is what they're called.
Yeah, because
Um,
he does something like this, and it like comes out
Yeah,
of
he
his
does
hand.
like
I
a
thought that was-
bird thing.
Yeah, I thought that was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, and there's a nuke, which is they call it like a universe enema or something like that, which wipes out all the enemies on the screen, and they start throwing those at you quite a bit more towards the end levels and stuff. But yeah, I mean, again, none of it felt like it was really overpowered or like ridiculous. They all had their own purposes and uses. I don't know. I like all of it. There wasn't anything to me that felt like, oh, that's completely useless. I'll never use that. I usually end up using everything that you can get a hold of.
Yeah, that was that whole game. Man. The whole game. I can't.
It looks like it's making you feel things. I don't know.
It does, and I don't like it.
Okay.
We ready for Shadowloo's video?
Yeah, go for it. Yep.
All right.
So this one I kind of made to. There's no audio, so we can talk over it. But basically, I wanted to showcase just kind of the level variety. So like this is the very first level, and I kind of put them in order. You can see that's how you complete a level as you jump into those clay balls. The enemies in each level are different for the most part. Even like the Skullmonkeys have varieties in later levels. Yeah, there's your fart head. There's the Phoenix hands that we were talking about. And those little blue swirls are how you can get a bonus level. If you get all three of those at the end of a level, there's a little clay ball. And I do include the bonus level that you get here. I was going to ask you guys, did you find the bonus in the bonus level?
What?
So this is the bonus level that you get for this world. And then there is a secret exit to this one that's right here.
What? No.
Which is a little submarine kind of like game.
I did find that.
Yeah, that you get a bunch of lives and stuff in. So this is the kind of thing that I liked about it, is that there's so much variety. This is the first boss. It's basic bonk on the head kind of thing. But there's so much variety, even for a platformer. There's so many silly little things that you can do, and they're not like long. Like I could imagine a game like this for a developer who doesn't really develop platformers would build a submarine mini game, and it's the worst thing in the world, right? It's the one thing everybody complains about, and is like, why the hell is it here? But
that submarine mini level was very reminiscent of that submarine level in Earthworm Jim too.
Yes.
The way it's controlled and moved.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to say about that.
Yeah, so there's, I mean, you can see just like all the levels that we've been going through. Some of these are in the same world. Like they're not even necessarily in separate worlds. And I don't know, they're a lot of fun. Here's the one boss you guys were talking about, the one where it's a guy's head inside of a monkey's body. The guy's name that is after is Joseph Sanabria. He was the lead level designer. I mean, it looks exactly like him. They literally just took a picture of his face and they put it into the model. And he was the level artist and designer for the Neverhood, which is the company that made this game. So he did it for the Neverhood as well as Skullmonkeys, and I think Boombots. But he's done stuff on Fallout and a bunch of other stuff too. So it was just an artist that put himself in the game.
Nice.
Which is kind of unique. There's that little hover ability.
That was really cool. I really enjoyed that.
Here's
Hope you would like
your
to
nuke
know-
ability. Yeah.
Hope you would like to know what this game reminds you of.
What does it remind me of? There's a bunch of things that
Nothing.
people. There's a bunch of things that people brought up in chat. Some people said it reminds them of Oddworld on the PS1, the Oddworld Odysseys.
A little
here's
bit.
the final-
outside, yeah.
Here's the final cutscene. You had some of this in there too, but yeah, some of you mentioned the Oddworld Odysseys, and it is weird like that. It does have some of that kind of realistic texture in the level design. Some people mentioned Earthworm Jim, and I'm like, hey, here's a coincidence.
Yeah.
Same people as Earthworm Jim, you know. So yeah, it's kind of, it's very unique on its own, though. I can't say that there are many games that it truly reminds me of outside of it just being a platformer.
Right.
So I don't know. What you got? Anything else you want to cover in relation to levels and things like that?
Rick also said it's even more like a fever. It's even more of a fever dream than Oddworld, and you are correct.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
This game is trippy.
Yeah, it is.
I
It's
love
just
it.
overall weird. There's big flying ant creatures. There's skull monkeys with a skull. There's skull monkeys where they jump out of their skin.
Yes.
And they're just like a skeleton. Yeah. There's so much weird stuff, and it's great. It all looks great too.
Yeah, it all does look great. You are correct. I just want to go through. I'm gonna pull up the level list
Okay.
because there's a few I want to touch on that I don't remember the name of. Neither of you included in your videos.
Oh, well, excuse me. At least we had videos.
Okay,
boy.
so I want to go on the record of saying I was playing this game until 5:30. So precisely 1 hour ago, and I did beat it.
Nice.
I beat it like right at the last second, and then I was like, I don't have time for a video.
Nice.
I thought about it.
Mine was rendering when the podcast started, so I cut it real close for sure. It was right there.
So let's see. I can't pronounce it, but
I was
the
gonna
level
just say play the video again while it's going if it's pulled up. There's no audio, so you can talk through it and people can see it again.
I mean, you don't have the areas that I wanted to talk about. I mean,
yeah, well, who cares?
there's an area where the monkeys are no longer in it, and they're bugs.
Oh yes,
Oh,
that
yeah.
right there. The green,
That-
one green area.
Wait, there we go.
Yeah,
right
there's
here.
there's
Yeah,
a
it is
couple.
right here.
Yeah,
This
they're in the jungle
whole-
too.
This whole 3 or 4 levels of this was the most challenging part of this game for me.
Yeah.
I struggled so hard
Yep.
on these parts. After I got past these 4 levels, I flew through the rest until the last.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's I will kind of agree with that. Once I got to Monk Rushmore, which was
really
kind of the
easy.
cloud area,
It went back to It went back.
Yeah, it went pretty smooth. Yeah, but those were
Yeah.
very difficult. They had some. It was precise timing, not even to just bridge the gap of a jump, but to time the enemies flying around the platform you needed to land on.
Because
Yeah.
you're climbing vines also, and like
that,
there's
yeah.
enemies on both sides, and you have to jump between them.
Yeah.
You know, so that
Yeah.
was that was the area that I struggled with.
I will agree with that. I think that was probably the out of all the areas I went into, that was the most difficult one for sure.
I'm pulling up a picture of this level because
You need them to know your pain.
no, I need them to know my enjoyment.
You know, one that
Oh,
was
okay.
kind of giving me a hard way to go. Also, was level 16, the Worm Graveyard. There was a lot of places where they had these literally just like spikes all over the place where you had to do then the platforms weren't going slow.
Oh yeah.
They were going like really fast at certain points, and it's like wow, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember
get
that.
it.
There's some that kind of launched you up. Like
Yeah.
they're moving very quickly, and so you almost had to like time your jump on the way with the platform going down, so you could kind of like debuff your height, sort of thing. Yeah, there's some interesting challenges. Like, okay, I'm gonna make a weird comparison here, but stay with me for a second. This is a buy slow mo some time to see if you can find a screenshot.
No, I'm
But
good.
this reminds me of one of the main reasons why I love Spyro the Dragon 1 specifically, is because Spyro in himself does not change that whole game. The Spyro that you start with in that game is the Spyro that you end with. He doesn't gain any new powers or abilities or anything else. He glides the same way, he runs the same way, he jumps the same way, breathes fire the same way, right? The challenge is in the way that the levels are presented and how they build out those levels creatively. This reminds me a lot of that methodology. Clayman doesn't change. The Clayman at the start is the same Clayman that you have at the end, right?
Right.
But the levels in themselves are so drastically different as you go on that they present all of their own unique challenges. And like, I love that, because once you learn the character, the challenge is not in then relearning that character as you go on because something new was introduced. It's, you got the same character. Now you need to know in your element how to beat the particular level or challenge that you're presented. And that's like my favorite type of gameplay. I love it when they do that.
So I'll just pull it up. I'll just share.
There's two of me here. I like this. I like the parallel of two of me.
There's two of you? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Not for long.
Oh.
So there is a part of the game. It's level 14. And it's called Castle de los Muertos.
Yeah. Oh, that darkness, that shadows.
Yes. So I just pulled up my video play. I'm going to share my screen real quick.
Samuel, thank you very much for stopping in there, buddy. I just saw that. Welcome in, buddy.
Shadowception. I know. I love it.
All right.
More of me, baby.
Can we see it? Is it pulled up? No. We need to add it to the stage. All right. So this level design is
first off, Slow-Mo. Let's celebrate that amazing logo Slow-Mo's got now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Is this the first reveal on the podcast of this, or was it on the last one?
It's on this one. This is the first one.
Okay.
But it's okay. But so this level, I don't know if y'all can hear it or not, but it is phenomenally done.
Oh, it's like a silhouette style kind of.
Yes. But even like so I just wanted to show that real quick. Even the small details of it, where you like there's lights, and as you go into the light, you become visible from the shadows, and as you leave, that radius, you go dark again. But also, like, if you jump in front of the lights, you block it out.
Really? I didn't know that.
You do.
I didn't even try that.
So you'll actually jump if you jump in front of the lights, you'll block out the light. So like this whole area of this game is this is my favorite level because it's 4 levels, but this was my favorite. And I just wanted to touch on that because I felt like it needed to be talked about.
Nice.
Yeah, there's
really well done.
The level design in these, I mean, just even from a visual aspect, is I can't stress it enough. They're absolutely beautiful, and the amount of level variety is so good. Like, you don't know what you're gonna get, and it feels like right as you're at the time to where you're like, okay, I got it. I got this world. I'm good. And you beat it, you're immediately thrust into somewhere new. It is like everything is always fresh. Nothing gets so stale that you're like, I hate this place. I hate looking at this. I want something new.
I hated those bugs.
Hated those. Those bugs do suck. I was like, where are more of the ones that I can jump on top of?
Oh man,
like, give me those.
And then at some point, it just threw those ones with the spikes to where, I mean, absolutely not.
Oh, they were. I honestly don't. There were some that I'm like, I'm gonna do this without power ups, and it got to a point to where, like, I experimented and was like, okay, let's try this. Let's try this in a duck. Let's try timing this way. Let's try. And I'm like, I don't think there is a way to make some of these without power ups. Like, some of them would have to be so precise that I feel like it's near impossible, but I could be wrong. I'm not a pro Skullmonkeys player, so I would love to see a speed run of this. I didn't look that up, but somebody has to have sped run this game.
Yeah.
Sped run? Is that the past tense?
Speed ran?
Speed ran? Sped run?
Is it time to rate the game?
It has to be, because we've talked a lot about this game, and that's one of the good things about this is, like, when we really enjoy a game, it's going to be much more of an engaging episode because, we have a lot to talk about. But it's a game that sucks, We're like, whatever. Okay. Is it time yet?
Let's get to the wheel.
Yeah, let's get to the wheel so we can play something new. All right, so let's rank this game. All right. Y'all want to go ahead and give your thoughts? I know where I want to put it.
I think I'm going to go with an S ranking. I gotta say, honestly, as much as we love all the other games, for this being as I don't want to say simplistic, but I do want to say simplistic, as like you said, it's 95% platforming, but like everything about this game is fresh. It's challenging, but not unfair. Like Shadowloo said, obviously top tier with the soundtrack. The power ups are great. It doesn't over give you the power ups. It doesn't give you anything to make it to where the game is game breaking. And I would definitely say, I would definitely play this game in a regular aspect. Like put it on the stream every once in a while, or even just when I want to play something weird. I would definitely throw this game in. Absolutely, I gotta say, for me personally, I would definitely say an S ranking.
Shadowloose, what do you got to say?
Well, you know what? I'm not going to let you go last, Slow-Mo, because I grew up with this game, so I have an inherent bias. With it.
I want to go last.
You want to go last?
I want to go last. I might be the Dream Crusher, you know?
The Dream Crusher. Well, here's the thing. I really, really like struggle with this because I think it is one of those hidden gems. I think it's one of those games that not a lot of people know about, but the people who do know about it fall in love with it. It's just one of those things that it's like it is such a well-rounded, solid game. For the time, it is an extremely tight platformer. It controls really well. I think it's very fair. It has a lot of level variety. It's a great length of game, meaning you're not going to be putting 100 hours into a sitting. It's not also a 30-minute game. You're going to get a solid amount of playtime out of it and not be bored while you're doing it. The variety of cutscenes, bosses, weird bonus levels, soundtrack, all of it is great. It's a fantastic game. I'm afraid to give it an S because that is so up there. And I'm like, I don't know what it's going to beat it. I don't know what's good. But it's like, to me, it's a no-brainer at an A. Like, it's a no-brainer at an A. I feel like if I gave it an S, it would definitely be because of like an inherent bias, just a childhood nostalgic reasoning, right?
But would it still be inherent bias even though Freedom already gave it the S?
I don't know. I mean, maybe not. Maybe not. It's like, to me, again, it's a no-brainer A. I could definitely see it in S rank. Like, if somebody came to me and said, hey, I'm just getting into PlayStation 1. What are some games I need to play, or what are some exclusive I need to play? Without question, I would say Skullmonkeys. Easy.
Especially with the fact that, like I said, I feel overall this game is every single place you turn is outside of the box thinking, which we just don't get nowadays.
Yeah. So, I mean, considering there's like nothing else like it,
you want to give it the S, don't you?
I mean, I want to. I mean, it's just between us. It's not like it's an industry standard. I could say yes. Right. I'd say yes. Yeah.
All right.
Let's go.
Let's throw it up there because I agree. I agree with S.
Nice.
This is like
one
of the. This is one of the best games.
We got our first S ranking game. Hell yeah, dude!
This is one of the best games that I have played in a long time.
Wow.
And like, I mean, I still think that. See, because like we have Donkey Kong Country and Celeste at an A, but that was because it wasn't unanimous. But so like, it's up there with those games for me because I still think that Donkey Kong Country and Celeste on a personal level are S ranking. So, I mean, that falls right into that category with those games. Yeah. It's like one of those games that, like, you lose track of time playing this game. And like Shadowloo said, like, I think, like, the long play on YouTube is, like, 2 hours and 37 minutes or something like that. So, that's, first of all, a decent-sized game for a platformer when, like, Super Nintendo, NES, all that, they're, like, 30, 45 minutes, but really, they were so hard that it took you, 10 years to beat.
Right.
this is one of those games too that like it's hard, so it's going to take you longer than the 2 hours and 37 minutes to beat. You're going to get a lot of game time, but it's not going to like you're not going to dump your whole life into this game.
Well, and I think that's part of the beauty of it too, is like if you've never played a platformer before, you could play this, you could still have a good time and pick it up and probably get through, quite a bit of it. If you are an avid platform player and you're really good at Super Mario World, Donkey Kong Country, whatever, you could sit down and this would still provide a challenge to you. Like there's enough of newness, uniqueness, timing, things like that it would provide a challenge. Like it's very well balanced. And I like that a lot. This game is extraordinarily well-rounded. I'm very comfortable with it being at an S. And
there's also parts, like we talk about the difficulty. You may be great at platformers, but if you game over in some of these areas, like it's going to take a lot for you to get past that area because you need power-ups and to make it easy. And you may not get any. There's one level, they don't give you a single power-up. And that's in one of those garden levels. Yeah. They don't give you a single power up. And if you go in there,
all you use is that paraglider.
Well, I mean, there's one like when you're climbing the vines.
Yeah.
There's no power ups till the very end.
Yeah.
And you have to get through that. If you don't have power ups already, you're screwed. And I went in there with no power ups. And I think that's
gaming.
partially
Thank you very
why
much for stopping in, buddy.
Like 45 minutes to beat this one level because I had no power-ups and I had nowhere to go, and I was having to make like perfect timing, pinpoint accuracy jumps between enemies, and it's almost impossible.
It's a game that made you want to be better. It's not a game that you're like, dude, this is so cheap, I hate this, and you want to be done with it. It's a game that it's like, I love this. This is difficult. I want to keep moving through it, right? Like those are the stark contrasts there, and I don't know. Love this game. I'm glad you guys liked it too.
And there's games that we've had on here that like ones I didn't beat, where I'm like, I haven't beat this, but I'm okay with not beating it before tonight, before the episode. Like Kendo Rage, I mean, in my opinion, that's probably the worst game that we've played so far, and I don't even think I played it on Monday. I didn't even care. Skullmonkeys, I was not going to beat, but I was going to beat this game. Like, I wanted to beat this game.
Nice.
Like, I had to. That's why I don't have any video footage, because I was playing it from the time I woke up today. It's a couple little breaks here and there, but I played it right up to the wire. Because that's how invested I was in this game.
Good stuff. All the way around. Nice.
Well, I'm glad one of my wheel recommendations made it.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. Now we just got to figure out what the next episode is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we do. Give me just a second to get that pulled up. Shadowloose, do you have any idea what you're going to replace this with?
Loki says you guys ever play Little Nemo's?
Just thought of that.
Back in the day. Great game. Back in the day. I don't think I've ever beaten it, but yeah, that's a great game too.
Shoot. I just thought about that. I forgot that I have to have a replacement. Didn't I have some overflow options in what I messaged you guys a million years ago when we were first doing the wheel?
So you didn't have any overflow, but there were games that you've mentioned that you did not put on this list.
Oh, can you name one?
No.
Oh, come on.
I don't even remember my own games that I won on the wheel.
Yeah, I was like, work with me. There's one that I was thinking about the other day just because I hadn't played it in forever, and I kind of forgot whether it was good or not. And it was 40 Winks, which I know 40 Winks was both PlayStation and I think N64 as well. It was a 3D platformer style game. But I didn't know if anybody else had played it, and so I didn't bring it up because I didn't know if you guys have played it or not.
I've never heard of it.
Never heard of it? Okay.
Nope.
Okay. I mean, we could throw
you can always change it too. Like if you decide you don't want to leave it on there, we can change it.
So if we want to replace something right now, I would say 40 Winks. And I'll think about it, and that might be the one that I bump, and we replace it with something else.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alrighty. So
Sounds good.
y'all ready for the wheel?
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
Are you? I'm not.
I'm ready enough.
I'm almost ready. Here we go. All right. Let's give this a shuffle. Or 15. And
Well, I hope you guys get one of yours. I don't want to double.
let's
double up.
spin the wheel. Silent Hill 2?
Okay.
Oh.
I don't know what that
Alrighty.
means. Is that a good or bad?
Okay.
This is the game.
Okay.
I just want you all to know I'm not beating this game, probably.
I have faith in you.
I don't
I
have faith in
in you.
myself.
The only thing I will say about this is out of the entire series that I've played, Silent Hill 2 is probably my most favorite story-wise. Now, you can't really skip the cutscenes on this slow-mo because the
Can't or
cutscenes.
shouldn't?
I mean, you can, but sometimes the cutscenes tell you where to go.
Ah.
So unless you want to go online and like look up where you're supposed to go, definitely.
Okay.
You know, I'm looking at the case for Silent Hill 2 right now. There's one thing that I've never noticed. I'm curious how many other games have this, because Silent Hill 4 doesn't even have it. But on the back, one of the things, it lists one player, memory card, analog control, vibration function. There is, I doubt the camera will be able to pick this up. Come on, where you at? Where you at? Right here is pressure sensitive. I wasn't even aware. Oh, there the camera's there we go. I wasn't even aware that the PlayStation 2 had pressure sensitivity on the buttons. Like the GameCube triggers do and stuff, but like
I think is it to where like when you're walking, if you press the analog stick just a little bit, he walks even slower?
Oh.
Or maybe it's the pressure sensitive on the attacks. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. I'll have to read on that because that's the first one that I saw. I don't remember seeing that on there. It says Locked Door Simulator 2.0. Yeah, I agree with that. The end of this game is kind of like, holy shit, let me get through it.
Yep. Have pressure sensitive face buttons, yes.
I will say though, I've only played small portions of this game. I have not like played it. And the one that I played was the arguably, I guess, worst version of it, like the HD remaster.
Oh yeah.
One. So
I've heard about that.
I'll hook up my actual PS2, or actually I'll play it on my PS3. I'll hook up my PS3 and we'll play it on there. Yeah. That way there's no save states or cheating. I'm gonna do it the big boy man way. So Silent Hill 2.
Yep. Silent Hill 2 for PlayStation 2.
Good stuff. Good pressure sensitive face buttons. Really? I was not aware of that. I do not recall that.
Also slow-mo, do you will you be able to get that, or is that if you
I'm emulating that one,
Yeah, one of the things that I've had a hard time messing with actually is PlayStation 2 emulation. For some reason I can't, like 2 or 3 games I tried, and it just didn't work out. I don't know if I have to figure out a different operating system or something like that, but the only PlayStation 2 games I'm probably going to put on the list myself right now is ones that actually have a hard copy of. So,
okay.
Do you have the BIOS downloaded for it?
See, that's the thing. I think I was asking Shadowluz about that a while ago, and I'm not 100% sure if I have the correct one. But we'll figure that out.
Okay. Steph, if you wanna play Silent Hill 2 with me on stream, or at least start it on stream one day, be more than happy to.
There you go.
With your unlimited amount of extra time that you have on your hands. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, I'm excited to play this. I've never actually played the first Silent Hill. I mean, it's one of those things I've seen a million times, but
one of the good things about this series is you don't necessarily have to play the other games to understand what's going on and I think there's hints of each story or certain stories in the other games, but like you might pick up on a newspaper article and it might say something about one of the characters from one of the other games. It doesn't actually coincide with the other characters, so each game can stand alone and you won't miss anything.
Yeah, because they're all supposed to be their own Silent Hills, right?
Yeah.
People get sucked into their own version of Silent.
Yeah.
Which Downpour, or no, it wasn't Downpour. It was Homecoming. Homecoming, I have played and beat the whole way through. And
Homecoming was good.
I think that's the only Silent Hill that I've completely beaten it all the way through.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to this. I'm actually really excited for the remake. That's one of the reasons why I want to pick up a PS5 is to play that. And I'm glad I get to play this version because it's so close to playing kind of the remake, because then I can at least have a comparison as to did they actually do quality of life improvements? Did they change story or anything or what? So I'm excited. Nice. It looks like there's a monster and a woman and a man, and that's probably all I need to know about.
There's a lot of characters in this, like characters that you run into, and you find out about their backstories, and each one of them, it's pretty not drawn out, but like their backstories are very in detail. Like you figure out what's wrong with each one of them, what their backstory is. That I very much enjoyed it.
Well, we could, I guess, at the end of this, I could mail Konami of America in Illinois. They've got a survey back here that asks, what other kind of game consoles you've got.
Josh, what's going on? Thank you very much for stopping in. We're going to be 86 in it here in just a minute, but appreciate you stopping in, man.
And it does warn you to look out for Metal Gear Solid 2 coming fall of 2001.
There you go.
So that's probably a game we need to check out, and 20 years ago.
Nice. But that's good. Not too bad. Is it creepy, spooky? It definitely
yeah. It's got an atmosphere. It's got an atmosphere for sure. Yeah. I wouldn't even say it's so much of like jump scary. It's definitely a lot more like
eerie, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. Unsettling, maybe, is a way. There's definitely some like body horror stuff in it for sure. But if you like that type of horror, I love that stuff. If you like stuff like The Thing and whatever, like, it's great. Love it.
Yep. Good stuff, man. Slow-mo, you're muted, buddy.
I just want you all to know, not only will this be my first time playing Silent Hill 2, this will be my first Silent Hill game ever.
It's a good one to start with.
Are you going to stream it? Are you going to get those YouTuber reactions?
I can't promise that.
Oh, okay. Well, I will. I can commit to that, chat. That I will stream this game for all of you to see and witness.
We'll see.
Oh. Okay. Noted.
I can't remember how long the runtime is for this game. I think it's long enough, but I don't think it's too long.
I was gonna say, this is like, no spoilers, but this is kind of the origin of Pyramid Head, right? This is the first game that is.
And one of the things that a lot of people don't know or don't understand is technically, like you said, each Silent Hill and each character that you are technically is supposed to have their own rendition of Silent Hill. Pyramid Head was technically supposed to be only in Silent Hill 2 because he was like the overall manifestation of your character's ultimate troubles and like whatever the situation. I'm not going to give anything away for the story, but like his ultimate horrors of what's happening in his life, why he goes to Silent Hill. But everybody loved Pyramid Head so much that they just decided to kind of write him off as like the gatekeeper for Silent Hill in general as an entity.
That's what I was gonna say. He basically became synonymous with Silent Hill because everybody loved him so much. That wasn't the point. I see runtime. It says about 8 hours with just main story side is about 9.5. So
so not too bad.
Not terrible.
Yeah.
I'll have to spread it out.
For Josh, you got the secret ending. Are you talking about the secret ending with the dog.
Yeah, there's always a
The-
secret ending in Silent Hill too, by the way, Slow-mo. There's always a really goofy ending that is absolutely ridiculous and completely not at all like the game.
I'm
Right.
only going for an ending, not a specific
Yes,
ending.
that's what I will be doing as well. I'm right there with you.
Well, I think that might be it for us, man. I'm really looking forward to this for this week.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
All
me
right.
too. Kind of. You know?
No, not the
Ooh,
dog.
I should
no,
put Outer Wilds on there, Steph. You're
no,
right.
not
I
the
should put that
dog.
on
The
there.
more serious one. Ah, okay, gotcha. By the way, I'm Diablo. Josh, Diablo, my guy, Diablo. What's going on? Good to see you finally, man. In here, at least. You will fall in love. I wasted so much time in that game. Exploration, absolutely, man, absolutely. Well, Shadley, you
Alrighty.
want to sign us off there, buddy?
I will go ahead and sign us off, buddy. So that was First Round Showdown episode 18 with Skullmonkeys next week. Keep an eye out at I guess it's 5 p.m. It's Central Time. That's 6 Eastern.
Yep.
Whatever you guys on the West Coast, however that time works for you. On Monday, we'll be talking about Silent Hill 2. So look out for us streaming Silent Hill 2 over the course of this next week. And until then, feel free to follow us at slowmo_gaming, at freedomgamer38, and at Shadowloos on I would say primarily TikTok, Twitch, and if you have not been following the podcast, you should do
Give
that.
us a follow.
Yeah,
Smash.
I don't know why you're not doing that. Why are you
All the-
here if you're not doing
All
it?
the cool kids are doing it.
Yep. Without
And we
further ado, go ahead. You got your final word. You want me to wrap?
And we finally got an S ranking game from Shadowloo, Skullmonkeys.
S ranking game. I only provide S rank games. I mean, that's all I
you
do.
We'll
That's
see
all-
about
that's why
that.
I'm here. Okay. All right.
Have
All right,
a good night,
We'll
guys.
go ahead and wrap there. I'll see you.
See ya.
See you, dude.
Bye.